Hello, welcome to Sheffield Board Gamers Podcast. This is episode 70. My name is Rick, and I'm joined today by Samuel. Hello, Samuel.
Hi, Rick.
Hello, thank you for coming on, talking to me.
No problem.
We're going to be talking about some of the board games that we've been playing recently. So I played a few. We've had a bit of a break over the Christmas holidays. It's a new year now, so we've had some time off and played some games hopefully over the Christmas holidays, so that's been good. We're going to talk about a question of the week, which is what sort of games do you least enjoy playing and why? But before that, as you know, I probably said this before, but I record what games I've played on Board Game Geek over the past year or so. So I've just been having a look at my logged plays over the year. There's been some good games that I've played, been some bad games, as you kind of expect. My most played game, I haven't actually got one because I've played 7 games 3 times each. So that's the most I've played a single game is 3 times over the past year, 2025. So
variety is the spice of life.
Yeah, most of them are pretty shortish, like filler games. So Scout is on there. Mm-hmm. Splendid Duel, I play that with Tracy, so I've played that with Tracy a few times. Probably the biggest one on there is Cthulhu Death May Die.
Uh-huh.
Played that 3 times. So I think I played it at the club once, and we had a few friends around as well, and played that with friends because they like sort of Dungeons and Dragons and sort of dungeon crawling and things like that. So I thought it'd be something they'd like. So we played it a couple of times then, which is quite good. Played through a couple of missions of that. Some highlights, Bomb Busters. That was a good game.
Mm-hmm.
That's the deduction one where you can try to defuse the bomb. I played Bunny Kingdom for the first time. That was a good fun game. Like a drafting game where you're drafting cards and then playing them to play it onto a grid and building up your kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to score points area control wise. Moon Colony Bloodbath. Actually played that recently as well, didn't we? At the club. That's
fun.
Quite a good game. I found I enjoyed that. Both the times that I've played it, I've only played it a couple of times, but a kind of deck building game where you kind of things go wrong and you start losing.
Yeah.
Your engine starts breaking down.
Building engine destroying game. It's described.
Yeah.
Which is quite accurate.
Yeah, but it was good fun. I quite enjoyed that one. Some of the bad games that I played. Dwarf Romantic the Duel. I don't know if you played Dwarf Romantic, but that's like the cooperative game.
Yeah.
It's not really cooperative. It's just kind of like a puzzle game where you're putting tiles down and you're just trying to maximise your score.
Yeah.
So it never really appealed to me that because it's not really cooperative. It's just like, I'll take a tile and put it there, and then you put a tile and you put it there, and then we'll see what we score. But I thought the duel one might be better because at least then there's a bit of competition. But again, didn't really get on with it. Thought it was a bit boring, a bit fiddly. So I didn't really enjoy that one. And then I played a game called Muffin Time, which was pretty bad. That's just one of those card games where you sort of draw a card and then play a card and then see what happens, like crazy things. Supposed to be funny, loads of take that, but just completely random and
I didn't have that.
Not really any strategy or anything.
I did own that one for a bit and it was a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, there's things in it like make a player skip a turn or make him draw cards into his hand, stuff like that.
Yeah, it was a bit.
But I found it was a bit mean as well because there's cards in there like that say you're fat and stuff like that, or nobody likes you.
Uh-huh.
And you play these on other players, and then it makes them discard cards out of their hand. But I just thought it was a bit OTT, a bit
a bit
naff. So I didn't really like that one. I only played 3 games from 2025.
Uh-huh.
I played Duel for Cardia. I played Battle of Hoth, which is the Star Wars sort of memoir, 44 reprint. Yeah. And I also played, towards the end of the year, we played Seven Wonders Dice. Okay. Just managed to get that through in the last session, I think it was, the last play session of the year, we played that.
Yeah.
So not that many from 2025, a few from 24. But that's my year, 182 different games played. Mm-hmm. And then 220 total plays over the year. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty good going.
Yes, as I said, variety.
Yeah. 182 different games. Yeah.
220 games played, so that's a lot of.
Yeah. So a lot of ones on there because a lot I've played sort of at the club with people and obviously just play it once and then it didn't turn up again. So a lot of stuff on there that I've only played once, but played a couple of games out of my collection once as well. So I managed to get them played off. So, but yeah, overall, I think it was a good year. I've enjoyed it. I've played plenty of games and been quite busy. So we got a dog last year, so that was a big a big change.
Yeah.
So we're a dog family now. But the club carried on, and we're always trying to improve things and make things better. So yeah, that was my 2025.
Right. Well, I don't collect stats on BGG, so I don't know what I played last year or anything like that. Unfortunately.
Yeah, you can probably get a feel, I guess, for kind of what games you've played more often than not. But I guess it would be tricky trying to name things and sort of pick out.
Yeah.
And any highlights from last year? Anything that you can think of that you really enjoyed that you did off the top of your head? Sorry, I know I'm putting you on the spot a little bit there.
I mean, things that were new to me last year that I've enjoyed: Moon Colony Bloodbath, and then also Ether Stone, which you played for the first time.
Yeah, we played that together, didn't we, once? And I enjoyed that. It's a really good game. Yeah.
What else? I enjoyed Le Havre when I played that as well. There's some other things to get. It's not one I played before.
A bit of an old one, that, isn't it? It's quite
an old
one.
I quite enjoyed it. I can't think of anything else that was sort of particularly new to me. Immediately. Things that weren't new to me. I enjoyed our session of Mechs versus Minions.
Oh yeah.
Last year. That was.
Yeah, we only played it once, didn't we? We'll have to get something organised where we play through the campaign again.
Burn through the campaign when we're in Skinarborough.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
No, I don't know. And then just the things I always enjoy playing, like Terraforming Mars and Earth and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's things like that.
Yeah.
Fantasy Realms, all sorts of stuff like
that. Shall we move on to games that we've played recently then?
Yeah.
So I think in these selections of games that we've picked this time, I think we've both played a lot of them together. I think there might be one that we haven't played, but a lot of these we've played recently. One we've played.
I thought one that was a bit different.
Yeah. So I brought with me. I found this game in the run up to Christmas in the sales. Got it from, can't remember where I got it from now. Game, I think it was, and it was like £6 or something. So I thought, I'll pick up a copy of that. Can't really go wrong for that. It's called Medieval Academy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reprint of an older game. So as far as I'm aware, the game's exactly the same. It's just they've refreshed it and given it new artwork and kind of a new box and everything. It might even be a new publisher, but it's basically a drafting game where you get a deck of cards and there's a big board in front of you with several different tracks on it, and the tracks score in different ways. So you draft cards from this deck of cards, and these cards allow you to move up the tracks certain amounts, certain numbers. And then once you've drafted all the cards, you take it in turns playing cards from your hand, you move up the tracks. Some of the tracks you want to be in front, and you'll score points for whoever's like furthest ahead. Some of the tracks you don't want to be behind, so you lose points if you're the lowest. Some tracks just give you points depending on how far you go on that. And then halfway through the game, I think there's 6 rounds in total. Halfway through the game, after the third round, like some of the tracks reset, but some of them kind of stay where they are. So a couple of the longer ones sort of stay in the same place, but the others reset back to the start again. So for the second half of the game, from rounds 4 to 6, you basically start from the bottom of those tracks going up again, but you're carrying on from where you left off on the other tracks. So it's quite good fun. I quite enjoyed it. It's nothing too taxing. I thought it was pretty straightforward. We did play the basic side of the board. It actually comes with 2 sides. So on the other side, there's a night side, and it's got slightly more advanced rules on there, and different. The tracks do different things. So if you want a bit more, sort of a bit more strategy in your game, you can probably play with the other side. But the basic side was a nice fun distraction. Didn't take too long. Took us like 45 minutes to play, didn't it, with the explanation and everything? Maybe an hour tops.
Yeah.
It was pretty good fun. I quite enjoyed it. Nothing too taxing, nothing too brain stretching, but it was good fun trying to jockey for position, working out which cards you need to play from your hand to get ahead on certain things, or making sure you're catching up with other tracks. And you can't do everything at once. You are kind of limited by you only get like 5 cards in a round, and you only play 4 of them. So there's not masses of stuff to do.
No.
But the everybody's waiting. It kind of you've got like between 2 and 5 moves, I think, on the cards, and everybody's kind of waiting because you've seen a 5 come round at some point on one of those tracks, and you know somebody's got it in the hand and somebody's going to play it at some point. But then you want to play yours to get in front. So there's a little bit of jockeying.
Definitely a nice timing element when you actually play the cards. And waiting to see who does what.
Yeah.
Because you're in on the same space as somebody else. The person you've got there, I think it's last, goes on top and is therefore said to be ahead.
Yeah.
Which can be important. Or you can play a card. I think, I've jumped ahead on track, and then other people play cards, and so actually your card was a complete waste. You haven't actually changed your position at all.
Yeah.
So that can be
there is a little bit of that. Yeah, a little bit of It's good fun family style game. Medieval Academy. That was.
I'll start with my most recent acquisition, which I picked up at the latest Sunday session because we were holding it in a different place this time. We were in the Outpost, which is mainly a model sort of wargaming shop. It does have some board games. And while we were there, I picked up For a Crown, which is a 3 to 5 player sort of shared deck building game about trying to end up with the most rubies at the end of the game. Everyone has a hidden stash of rubies and currency and stuff, so you don't really know who's winning. So each round you draft some cards and put them in your own sleeves so that you know whose card is whose, and then you shuffle all the cards together with some event cards, and then go through the deck one card at a time. And if it's your card that comes up, you get to do that action, which can be make somebody lose rubies or gain a ruby, or maybe gain some money in order to buy more cards, things like that. And then you keep going through the deck. There's also an influence track that determines sort of player order in each round and has other effects as well. So you want to try and be at the top of that. So there's cards that affect that and where you are on that. That can be quite interesting. And I find it very enjoyable. There's obviously a fair bit of luck and quite a fair bit to take that with who you're trying to target. But the fact that everyone's sort of amounts of everything is generally hidden means it doesn't tend to get too unfair.
Yeah.
You're trying to pick on sort of who you think might be leading or doing it fairly evenly.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, the take that is quite forward in this game because you're kind of picking on people to lose a ruby or get one of those little raccoon tokens.
Yeah, the raccoon. Raccoon token.
But we kind of played it when we played it. We were trying to sort of work out who was in front and who'd got the most and do it that way. So it kind of evened out in the long run of the game. And I quite liked the token that you've got hidden in your box as well. So
the heirloom.
When the heirloom, when people discard that, they're getting down to a certain level then, and you can sort of judge whereabouts people are. Up until that point, you're not quite sure, but
although then after that it gets tricky because of course you can start, if you started to gain and lose other rubies, you might end up with more than somebody who still hasn't lost their heirloom yet because of how it's gone. That then starts to you sort of get okay. If at a certain sort of point, but then which is sort of quite nice, I suppose. Which is a bit of a marker, but that marker kind of gets a bit lost in the sand again after a while.
Yeah, it was good. The production was nice. It's got nice little boxes to keep stuff in, and
nice
sleeves. Yeah, card sleeves.
Nice chunky tokens. Cardboard, but still chunky. Nice sleeves. Comes with spare sleeves as well in case they. Is very useful.
Yeah.
So another nice, quite friendly game.
Yeah.
Would need 3 players though as a minimum.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine this being a nice like family game that you play with.
Yeah,
people
again, it doesn't take very long.
Yeah.
We played 2 games when we played it with you.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we played it and then played it again straight afterwards, didn't we?
Yeah.
Do you think? I think you've played it an extra time as well. So did you think there's enough variety in the cards? The events that come out and things like that. Is there enough variety there to keep playing?
There's certainly enough variety for a few plays.
Yeah. Because I think after our first game, we'd not seen all the events. There was still some that we hadn't seen. So that's.
Well, I think we had actually had all the different events, I think, but.
So put different ones in.
You only get a certain amount of them each game, and what cards come out where for the drafting part will obviously vary quite a bit per game. So, and of course, you can't control when they're going to come out of the deck. So you'll get plenty of different orders of everything. So how significant those differences are, I don't know. I reckon there's a reasonable amount of replayability in there.
Okay.
when each time you start a game, you're not quite sure what's going to happen or what cards are going to come out.
Yeah.
I do things a different way. So, what's your next game then?
My next one is a game that we played recently, Quadropolis, a city building game. So again, this is a bit of an older one. This is from 2016, so it's 9 years old. Well, it'd be 10 years old at this point, won't it, I suppose?
Yeah.
I do like city building games. Anything where you're building like a castle or a city or a dungeon or something like that. I do tend to like these kind of things. Again, this is kind of, well, there's two modes in the box. There's a classic, what they call a classic game, which is kind of like a more simplified game, and then there's an expert game which adds in an extra round and it's got extra buildings and stuff. But basically, each player gets a board and you're drafting tiles from like a central display, and the tiles are different types of buildings, and the buildings will score in different ways depending on where you place them on your board. So there's things like factories and tower blocks, public buildings, public service buildings, things like that. So there's different types of buildings. So the way that you draft it is you've got an architect, which is like an arrow, like pointing at the board. So you can place the arrow on any sides of the board, and the tiles that you've got are numbered from 1 to 4. So if you play a number 3 architect on a particular row, you count 3 tiles in, and you take that tile from the board, and then it has to go onto your board on the third row or the third column or the third level of a tower. If you're building a tower block, you kind of go upwards. You put the tiles on top of each other so you can put it on the third floor if you've got one. And then what you do is you put a little token on the space that is left behind on the board, so that when you've taken the tile off the central board, you put a token on there. And that means that the next person that goes can't point their architect in that row or column anymore. They have to go to a different row or column. So it starts.
Well, they can't point it directly at that token. They can point it at something in the same row or column as long as
that's it.
In a different place.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Yes. Which we did ask when I explained it. How does that work again?
That's something that's quite a visual thing. That's something with a picture of.
Yeah.
Something about exactly that works.
So at the start of the game, you can pretty much get anything you want. It's pretty easy. You can just put your token down and pick stuff up. But towards the end, once some of the tiles are missing, it gets more and more difficult to get the right tiles that you want. And also, if you're playing the particular architect to get it, it has to go into that row and column on your player board. So it limits where you can actually place it on your board as well. So it's that kind of puzzle of working out, when I'll take this on this turn, and then hopefully on my next turn this will be available, so I can do this on my next turn, and trying to maximise your score. I quite liked how we went down different sort of strategies. I think Tom went heavy on the tower blocks. I went for the ports. I
went very heavy
on ports, where you've got a row and a column. The score for rows and columns. I don't know what Ben was doing, but Ben was doing something different as well. Ben was going quite a lot of public buildings, I think.
Yeah.
The way that works is quite good. You can kind of focus on one particular thing, or do you want to go for a bit of everything? But it kind of ramps up. So you want to, if you're going for a particular type of building, you want the more of those buildings you can get is better.
Yeah.
So it's 4 rounds long. So it didn't take us very long, like an hour probably to play through. Like I say, it's a bit of a puzzle, kind of working out where everything needs to go, placing your buildings out, building your city up. And like I say, I do enjoy the theme of this one. I enjoy the kind of city building theme. It just wanted me to want to play SimCity. Once I've finished playing this, I want to go on the computer and play SimCity. So, I have actually got an expansion for it that I've never played with as well. There's an expansion that adds like extra buildings and stuff like that.
And there's the expert mode as well.
Yeah.
Have you played the expert mode?
No, I haven't. No, I've not played that either. So I need to get that played at some point. But that adds in skyscrapers, I think.
Okay.
It's one of the extra building types, and again they'll score a slightly different way. Your board is slightly different, so you get a different board to play on. And like I say, it's a round extra. It's 5 rounds instead of 4, so there's an extra drafting round. But plenty of variety in the box, so loads of variety in different sort of game types that you can play. Even though it's an older one, it still plays quite well. I think some of the games probably from 10 years ago probably start to show their age a little bit, but I thought this one was still pretty fresh and still pretty enjoyable, and
I agree.
fairly modern. So Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah. So next time we play it, we'll have to play expert mode and see what that's like.
Yeah.
we're all gamers. We can handle it, I'm sure. We could have just jumped
Yes,
into that.
I quite enjoyed it. I quite like the selection mechanic with the different arrows.
It's a bit of a puzzle, yeah. You're kind of trying to work out what's going to be available soon, and it's quite difficult though because you don't know.
I take it. I put my arrow here to take it, or shall I put my arrow somewhere else to take it?
Yeah, you don't know what the people are going to do in front of you, so
where does it want?
Sometimes you just have to wait until they've taken their turn and then work out what's available. But yeah, it's good. Quadropolis.
Okay, I'm getting a bit heavier now. My second and final game is one that was a 2025 game, actually. House of Fado, a game in which you're managing your Fado restaurant and promoting your musicians and things. It's by Vital Lacerda, actually.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
I think it's sort of stylized as kind of an introduction to Lacerda games, possibly.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So it's essentially kind of, well, more work and movement. You start by, you've got 3 workers at the start, and then you, so your first 3 turns, you put those onto the board, and then you're moving them about on the board, and there's 1 slot on your own playboard that you can go to as well. And sort of bumping each other's meeples off, and that, when you get bumped off, you get a bonus, which is the same as the gallerist. And so you can hire musicians, a singer, and a couple of other types of guitarists, I think. And you can get customers into your cafe and do different things. You can sort of promote certain singers for sort of in-game scoring type thing. You can try and compose little tunes to get points as well. And the game ends stars for doing certain things, like voting a certain number of tunes or getting a musician to the highest level. And the game ends when I think a certain number of those stars have gone, and you spend game scoring, and then you see who's got the most points, and that's the winner. I thought it was a nice introduction to Lacerda games, because I've not played any Lacerda games yet, so that was my first one. And I'll be interested to play some of the more heavy ones at some point, hopefully, eventually. See if I like them or not.
Yeah.
But it's always really nice. It was, I've not seen the sort of the Fado musicians as a theme before, so that was quite nice.
Yeah, I've not heard of that before. Yeah.
I quite enjoyed the work in moving about, because you can sort of some interesting sort of decisions about which worker shall I move to where, shall I leave that one there, shall I move this one? Do I want to have to bump that person off so they get a bonus? Well, I can really do with doing that action, that kind of thing. You can't bump yourself off, so if you've got a worker in a place, you can't go there while your worker's still there. You have to wait. You have to move that one before you can go there again. So there's things like that. You're blocking your own spaces a bit. So it was quite nice.
How long do you think it took to play?
Well, it was a 2-player game. It probably took us, I don't know, an hour and a half to 2 hours, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
First game for both of us, I think.
Right.
Yes, first game for both of us, so it's a bit of a learning game. And we weren't rushing it.
Right, yeah.
You could definitely play a 2-player game in an hour.
Would you class it as a heavy game? Is it quite heavy in that it's a lot to think about?
No, for the Lacerda, it's probably light.
Okay.
Things. I can't remember what the other one BG is. I'm looking at it on BG right now. It's rated 2.79 out of 5. So
right, okay.
So that's medium. It's the lightest of any Lacerda game, I think.
Yeah. I did play another one. I think it was like Bot Factory or something Factory, like rebuilding robots, and that was like a similar sort of thing where it was kind of a light game.
Bot Factory. Yeah,
light style of one of his games. But
that's 2.77 out of 5. That one, Lacerda.
All right, I must say this one looks a lot nicer than that one. A lot more approachable.
So it's it's got a very nice style.
And it worked okay at 2 players, you think?
Yeah, it worked fine 2 players.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah.
I think you do block off certain little, you have slightly less things available, I think, but I'd be interested to sort of play as 4, and because there'd be a lot more interacting in the board of knocking each other off spaces. That'd be interesting. Yeah.
So we're going to move on to a new feature now that I'm going to call Spotlight. So I'm kind of throwing this at you, Samuel, to see if it works. So we've not discussed this or anything, but.
Well, yeah, you were talking about new features the other day.
Yeah, we might sort of change things up a little bit.
I hadn't. I still wasn't expecting one.
Yeah. So we'll see how this goes. But on Board Game Geek, you can go on, and it's like a top list of top rated games. So you've got brass at the top, and so it goes down from there, like the top rated games.
Yeah.
If you could also see, because people log the players on BGG, they collate all those and put those into the most played. So the most played games actually shows you, what people are actually playing. So, like for example, Twilight Imperium is going to be high up on the rankings because obviously a lot of people really like it and it's got a lot of high rankings. But it's not one that will appear on the played lists very often because it takes all day to play. So it's going to be the quantity of players is obviously going to be lower than some of the other stuff. So I was looking at this the other day and thinking it's quite interesting how it gives you almost like a snapshot of what people are actually playing at the moment and what games they're actually playing. And as you can imagine, there's a lot of sort of fillers and quick games on there, but there's also some longer ones as well. So what I thought we could do is discuss one of the games that's on there. So if I look on Board Game Geek for the top played game currently, it's Flip 7.
Yeah, from December. I was looking at the.
Have you played that one?
I have. I own that one.
All right, cool. Yeah, okay. So it's a game where you kind of push your luck. You have a deck of cards and you're flipping them over. And if you get the same number twice, you kind of bust and you don't score anything. But if you manage to turn over 7 different cards, you get like a bonus score and you get loads of points.
Yeah, I mean, it's not actually a huge bonus. It's only an extra 15 points, which is not.
Yeah.
But yeah.
A couple of action cards in there, so you can freeze people so that they stop. And you basically just play a number of rounds until somebody scores a set number of points, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
I can see why this is being played a lot because it's an ideal kind of end of night game, isn't it? It takes 15, 20 minutes to play.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really easy to explain as well because you can just explain the distribution of cards and just start dealing them out and explain the action cards as they come out, really.
Yeah, if you've played blackjack or anything like that, it's a very similar kind of thing. Do you stick or do you
stick or twist?
So it's I always enjoy playing this. Like I say, it's not kind of like an end of game night or something. That you feel it kind of while you're waiting for other people to finish their game, to start another one.
Yeah, but
I always have fun playing it. It has those kind of ups and downs where one round you might not score any points at all because you bust, or if you only got to get a couple of low numbers, but then it kind of evens out because in later rounds you'll kind of get more points. So it kind of at some point someone's really ahead because they've got loads of points, but then in another round they'll not score anything, so it kind of balances out towards the end. But
I've sort of found that if you start getting further behind, you start trying to push more, so then you're more likely to bust. So there might be a bit of a negative cycle.
Yeah, that's true.
If potentially if somebody gets ahead of it, you try and get more points, then you can just
if you know you're behind.
Yeah,
you just keep drawing. Yeah, true. Yeah, true. I think there's a couple of versions of this. Is there a different version with different size cards or something?
There's a smaller box, I've seen the smaller box. Okay. I think it's probably the cards are presumably the same size.
Okay.
The box that I've got is sort of unnecessarily large. More shelf presence, probably.
Yeah, I saw yours with a big box, and then I saw it in Patriot Games, and it's like a smaller box. So I assumed the cards and everything were smaller, but I'm not sure.
Probably the same.
But it's a good fun game, and
it plays quite a few as well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it plays quite a lot of players, doesn't it? Yeah, so if there's a group of
BGG says 3 to 18 players.
Yeah.
18? I think you can play 9 with one deck.
Right, okay.
Now that I remember.
Yeah, so it's a good fun game. Definitely worth a play if you get a chance to.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we move on to question of the week?
Let's do that.
So, what sort of games do you least enjoy playing and why? So I guess for us this is probably going to be, well, I guess for anybody this would be quite personal.
Yeah.
Everybody has different likes and dislikes, and you can't say, oh, this is a bad game because it has this kind of mechanic in it, and I don't like that mechanic. But someone else might be their favourite game because it uses that same mechanic. Or so we're not saying these are necessarily bad games. These are just for our personal
or for our personal tastes. It's not.
Yeah. We're not kind of picking on any particular game or any particular thing here. We're just kind of explaining why we might not like certain types of games, or might enjoy certain types of games slightly more. But I guess like anything, you, like with food or drink or going to the pictures, you'll have a certain thing that you like, and then a certain thing that you're just not that bothered about.
And potentially tastes can change as well with those.
True. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Maybe get more to something or
Yeah.
listen to the music as it goes.
So having said that, sometimes it's down to the mechanics that are in a game. So sometimes it has a certain mechanic that maybe you've played games without that mechanic before and don't really enjoy. So I put a couple of examples down here, like semi-cooperation. Okay. So maybe if you're cooperating on a game, you're all working together, and then all of a sudden there's a traitor or somebody's trying to do something different. Sometimes they can sort of put people off a little bit. Negotiation. We have to sort of discuss things and trade things and things like that. I have actually. I usually steer away from negotiation games, but I did play one last year, which was really good. It was a re-implementation of Chinatown, and I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
So there are exceptions to these.
Yeah.
If you get sort of pulled into a game and you're willing to try it, I think not all of the games that have got that mechanic in can be bad.
Yeah, I think another big one that can be quite divisive is hidden role games. I know there are people at the club who will not play hidden role games at all because they just do not like them.
Yeah. And
there's other people that absolutely adore them. Will go to every session of Blood on the Clock Tower that they can do or whatever.
Yeah. That's the big sort of popular one at the moment, isn't it? Blood on the Clock Tower. Yeah.
I'm kind of a bit more in the middle. I do like hidden role games, although I'm not keen on Blood on the Clock Tower just because there's sort of too much going on there. Because my ability to tell who's lying and who's not is very poor.
Yeah.
So I tend to try and rely on things that I either know to be true or got reasonable enough. So things that I know to be true because of my role in the game.
Yeah.
I actually know, or things that I kind of deduce to be true, or be fairly certain are true. So, but with something like Blood on the Clock Tower, there's so many different roles and information things, and possibilities for information to be false as well if people are drunk or whatever.
Yeah,
it's just sort of too much going on, and combined with the fact that you go off and talking to different people at different points of the game rather than all just discussing it at the same time.
Yeah,
I just sort of got the impression I'm just sort of repeating the same thing 5 times.
Right.
I just typed to the group, but it seems it was sort of that was a bit.
Yeah, I don't particularly mind social deduction games or hidden role games as long as they're fairly short. I think when they drag on a little bit too long, that's when I kind of get itchy feet and I sort of want it to end. But if it's like a lot of them are fairly quick, aren't they, and sort of move along at a bit of a pace. But again, there are exceptions and the stuff that I have enjoyed that that has those kind of mechanics in it. Speaking of mechanics, I think a lot of the ones that people don't like usually we don't really play much anymore. So, like, I'm thinking of the older ones like roll and move, player elimination, winners, things like that. We've more or less phased those out. Again, there's exceptions to that. I've played roll and move games that are quite modern and have like Euro sort of mechanisms in them as well. But
a good example of that is Magical Athlete.
Yes, yeah.
It's very much a roll and move, but everyone has a silly power, so actually it's quite fun.
Yeah. So a lot of the mechanics, I think you can probably just avoid if you know that you don't like hidden role games or whatever. Then you can always avoid them, and there's always plenty of choice. And there's enough games now that you can always pick something else if you don't like that. And there are games where it doesn't really matter as well, like hidden role games. I don't know if you've played the detective one, the
Deception, Murder Deception in Hong Kong, is that the one you mean?
Deception in Hong Kong, yeah, that's the one.
The Murder in Hong Kong,
yeah.
No, I've seen that one around, but I've not played it.
Yeah, that's kind of a hidden role game, but it's not got that kind of bluffing, lying kind of thing in it. You're just trying to figure out who the murderer is. So for these kind of games, even if they do have that mechanic, sometimes it's not like the most prominent thing, or sometimes there's a way around it that you can, so that it doesn't really matter when you play that. What about player counts? So if it's a solo game, or if there's too many players in there, so like if it's like a 5 or 6 player, Euro game?
Um,
Any preference on that?
Not massively. I mean, I think that really is more to do with whether a particular game works well at that player count. There are some games that you would want to play with, that could play sort of 4 or 5, but you wouldn't want to because it would be too slow and there'd be too much downtime.
Yeah.
So I think for me, that's more on a per game basis. That wouldn't be a sort of a determining factor whether I play the game at all.
I guess that factors into like game length as well, doesn't it? Like, how long is it going to take? Is it going to be too long, or can a game ever be too short? Can it be where you're playing a game and you want one more round out of it, and it's already finished, and you're on to the next game? But you could have.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
if you're building an engine or something, it just gets going, and then the game's over.
Yeah, I think that's sort of more into issues with more sort of more specific issues with games can have, I suppose, rather than
And I know for me, I'm not particularly
like a particular game rather than a particular type of game.
Yeah, I'm not particularly keen on long games that are more than a few hours. I mean, again, there are exceptions, and I will play them, but a good couple of hours is probably enough for me.
Fair enough. Whereas I don't mind longer things. I can play the same game for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah. I've definitely I've definitely bought games before that are too long and just got rid of them just because they take like 3 hours or whatever. So yeah, that's definitely one of my bugbears.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like randomness in games. They don't like when games have dice.
Yeah, that's another bugbear. Yeah.
Or maybe they'll only play games with like no luck at all. So, like for example, like an abstract game that's got no cards in it, no cards that are shuffled, no hidden tiles or anything like that. Just purely everything's out on the table. What's the Reiner Knizia one? Through the Desert? I think there are a couple of tiles on that on the board, but generally that's one that everybody kind of starts off on the same footing.
Well, in Terra Mystica, games where you get some slight randomness at the start of the setup, but after that, everything is open.
Yeah, and they've got purely abstract games like Hive and things like that don't have anything in there. But yeah, I know some people don't like dice at all. So if there's a game that's got dice in it, they're like, nope, I'm out.
I know people will play anything if it's got dice in it.
Yeah.
It's got dice. I mean,
yeah.
I don't mind a dice game. I quite enjoy some of them.
And again, there's some games where you don't actually roll the dice; you just pick it and use it as a marker, or sometimes.
Yeah, I mean there are dice in House of Fado, but they're just used to mark the level of the musician. You don't actually roll them.
Right. Yeah. So that's another thing as well. Any other thoughts or anything else
I've never hugely got into roll and writes, and I'm not really sure why.
I have. I've heard that from other people as well. I just don't get on with them
because they are quite interesting.
Have you played any recently? That you can think of?
Not for a bit. I mean, in the past I've played Welcome to, and I've played Railroad Inc.
Oh yeah.
Which I remember a while actually. But you're both very nice games, and they are kind of quite enjoyable. Welcome to is sort of a flip and right rather than roll and right, but
I think the problem with roll and rights is you've got that look of the dice.
Look of the draw.
And a lot of them are quite short and kind of, you're just drawing something on a bit of paper and then it's 20 minutes later it's done and it's like, what was
that? Yeah, they always feel a bit like fillers. I mean, I think Hadrian's Wall is the most complex roll and write.
Yeah, there's a couple of longer ones, isn't there? They're a bit more involved. A bit more.
Obviously, there's various games like you don't know if had roll and write spin-offs.
Yeah. Like I said, we did play Seven Wonders Dice. That's just like a new one. So me being a fan of Seven Wonders, I had to pick that up.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get you playing that at some point to see what you think of that. Whether it's a yes or no.
Maybe play the right ones. I'm not quite sure. Just
I know it does. It just puts people off sometimes, doesn't it? What is it? Is it particularly the dice? If you played any flipping rights, or does that not make a difference? Do you think?
Not really. I've said Welcome to is a flipping right, which I've played, which is quite nice. I don't know. I see that I've sort of slightly automatically for whatever reason. I don't really know. I probably shouldn't be.
Sometimes it's quite difficult to put your finger on, isn't it? Because it's a personal preference. sometimes it's difficult to say, why you dislike that kind of that genre or that type of game or whatever it might be. Sometimes there's no reason at all. Sometimes it's just because it doesn't really
have a bad
appeal to you.
experience with the type of game, maybe, or
yeah.
didn't enjoy. I'm also not so keen on hidden movement games, I think, as well, a little bit. I've had not so good experiences with that. I think I talked about one on the podcast before of Escape from the Aliens in Outer Space, I think it's called. A very enjoyable game of that. Which would be off that game.
Yeah, I can see why.
Mechanic, I think, really.
Yeah, I can see why people wouldn't like that, because you're not really sure. You haven't got any certainty of what's going off and where
it was the lack of kind of information, and I didn't really know.
Yeah,
that one had
a bit of guesswork
as well. I was like, well, I don't know how I'm supposed to do this, really. In that occasion, I mean, other ones are not so bad. You've got, I played and actually reasonably enjoyed Beast years ago.
Yeah.
I used to play Scotland Yard as a kid. It was quite good. Again, it was a bit like Roll and Rice, such an auto mechanic that I gravitate towards so much.
Any other final thoughts?
No, I don't think so. You got anything else?
No, I don't think so. So I think, we can probably wrap it up there. So, well, that's been a good discussion. So hopefully we've not put too many people off. We'll have to have another session where we talk about the games that we most enjoy and the mechanics that we do like.
Yeah.
Just to even it out at some point.
Different thing to discuss.
Yeah.
And that is just personal opinion. So feel free to disagree.
Yeah.
Entirely cool. And say we were talking rubbish. That's the kind of topic that is a personal opinion rather than anything concrete.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's just down to our personal taste, isn't it, I guess?
Yeah.
And like I say, other people, our games that we don't like, other people will absolutely love, and it'll be their favourite games. So and probably vice versa. Games that we love, other people will hate because whatever they don't like. So but it's good. It's good to have the variety in there anyway. If everybody liked the same thing, it'd be boring, wouldn't it?
It would be a bit,
Okay, well, cool. Thanks for coming on, Samuel, then, and talking to me.
No problem. Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, thank you for your company. And we'll see you on the next episode. So goodbye for now.